Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We knew he was a creep. We knew he was a weirdo, and he's confirming it all over again. The mayor of the largest city in the country, New York, his name is Zoran Mamdani. And, well, I think he has another agenda that conflicts with the well-being of America and New York. Go figure. He's living up to his crazy reputation. So just a little while ago, he spoke about, I don't know what these things have to do with municipal policy, but Islam and immigration and how Islam needs immigration, and what in the hell is he talking about? You're a municipal guy. Worry about the gosh damn snow, Banks. Worry about the quality of life. Nope. Just wants to show off to the left, and somehow, I don't know. But let's put the whole day, everyone's talking. This just happened, all right? It's about a minute and a half long. The crux of the moment, the crux of the whole thing, the speech here. Go ahead.
I think of the freedom from suffering that Buddhism teaches us is only possible if we remove the three poisons of desire, hatred, and ignorance from our daily lives. We need not accept suffering as unchangeable. We need not treat hatred as the natural state. We have the power to set ourselves free. And I consider my own faith, Islam, a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijrah reminds us that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a stranger too, who fled Mecca and was welcomed in Medina. Surah An-Nahl 1642 tells us, as for those who immigrated in the cause of Allah after being persecuted, we will surely bless them with a good home in this world. Or as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Islam began as something strange and will go back to being strange. So glad tidings to the strangers. If faith...
Not everybody's picking up what he's putting down.
If faith offers us the moral compass to stand alongside the stranger, government can provide the resources. Let us create a new expectation of City Hall, where power is wielded to love, to embrace, and to protect. We will stand with the stranger today.
Muhammad. I know about Muhammad. I don't know about Muhammad. Muhammad. All right, so what's brass tacks here, Muhammad? What's this going to look like? Give me that the smaller one, all right? The smaller. He talks about the what? No. We say it again now? All right, wait. We got this other one where he talks about okay, here you go. It's a little bit smaller, and it talks about what he's going to do with ICE and judicial warrants. And they must have judicial warrants. Is that it? But no, the law does not require them to have judicial warrants. They already have administrative warrants. Basically, they're back in the file cabinet. Under the Immigration Act, they have full authority to execute warrants without presenting the warrants. The warrant is inherent in the law. Let me see here. We got this little guy? All right. Go ahead now.
Make it clear once again that ICE will not be able to enter New York City property without a judicial warrant.
Well, stop for a second. All right, calm down, everybody. New York City property. Okay. That, we're not going to be, like, the illegals aren't really in New York City property for the most part. You know what I mean? New York City stuff that the city of New York owns, right? I mean, they don't even own the subways, for crying out loud. What do they own? They don't own this building. They own schools, right? New York City public schools. They own the sanitation. They own police precincts. Well, that's the part, all right? That's the part. Are you going to hand over illegal aliens once they finish their sentence, or if they're wanted by the federal government, will there be that coordination, or will you follow the tragic and dangerous Mayor Fry and Governor Walt's model? That was more of an applause line. It sounds good, but it ain't really. It doesn't really mean much. That's my immediate takeaway. But I want to go back to his thoughts on Muhammad and how that's all going to work out. And by the way, did he say he went all the way from Mecca to Medina? That's like 45 minutes. It's not exactly another kingdom, right? Right? I don't think they're that far away from each other. Give me the other one, all right? The Muhammad. Go ahead.
I think of the freedom from suffering that Buddhism teaches us is only possible if we remove the three poisons of desire, hatred, and ignorance from our daily lives.
Poisons. So, we can't do that. Christ can do that. Right? The desire, the sinfulness, right? We only are redeemed by Christ, in my belief. But this seems to be kind of outside the mayor's lane, doesn't it? Keep going.
We need not accept suffering as unchangeable. We need not treat hatred as the natural state. We have the power
that's right.
to set ourselves free.
Right. He's like this false problem that he's like with false solutions. We have the what? But the Muhammad and the keep going.
And I consider my own faith, Islam, a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijrah reminds us that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a stranger too, who fled Mecca and was welcomed in Medina. Surah An-Nahl 1642 tells us, as for those who immigrated in the cause of Allah after being persecuted, we will surely bless them with a good home in this world. Or as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
what
began as something strange and will go back to being strange. So glad tidings to the strangers. If faith...
Yeah, nobody knows what the hell he's talking about. It seems very loaded and weird.
If faith offers us the moral compass to stand alongside the stranger, government can provide the resources. Let us create a new expectation of City Hall, where power is wielded to love, to embrace, and to protect. We will stand with the stranger today.
So, let me tell you a little bit about, not the Quran, but the Bible. Because the Bible never endorses lawlessness, borders, nations, legal authority. Those are legitimate and God ordained, and that matters. Nations, borders, the rule of law, all of this stuff they're actually biblical concepts. The Bible explicitly affirms that nations have defined boundaries and legitimate authority. Let me think here. Let me just see. I'm going to ask my little helper here. Yep, here it is. He made from one man every nation of mankind, having determined allotted periods and the boundaries of their dwelling place. That's from Acts 17:26. Borders are not immoral. They are part of God's ordering of the world. And civil authority, right, is likewise, it's affirmed. It's right there. And we know this one. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God. That's in Romans 13:1, and that includes immigration law. Now, let's see here. The Old Testament does speak of the sojourner, sojourner. But this was a legal resident alien, not an illegal entrant. That was all under Israel's laws. And I'm going to go a little bit further in my helper here. You shall have the same law for the sojourner and for the native. Compassion is commanded. You have to be compassionate, but there's no exemption here. And the sojourner in the Old Testament obeyed Israel's laws, respected Israel's customs, and did not replace Israel's covenant or sovereignty. Otherwise known as legal immigration, you little twit. You little bitch. This 34-year-old is going to come over. He hasn't even taken care of the snow. He's providing aid and comfort to psychotic criminals armed with knives. Screw the cops. Some people point to cities of refuge as a proof of open asylum. Cities of refuge, but that is misunderstood. They were designated locations for specific crimes with judicial review and strict rules about entry and residence. And that is not chaos, that is due process.